type of money you gon' need to buy. From the hood, this type of money make you stay away. Type of money gon' let you. Big bank, tight, low bank. Big bank, tight, low bank.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks as they take on Josh Rosen and the Arizona Cardinals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We find ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside State Farm Stadium in Glendale. So this was the scene a moment ago. The Cardinals emerging from their tunnel, and we are ready for football as the Cards get set to match up with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Cardinal team as they get ready here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Now Wilson on first down. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his first touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible, or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 22.
Here we go now. Blue landing.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now Rosen looking to throw. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on. Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. And that is incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Now it's Rosen dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll get it out about a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Rosen will throw. And this is incomplete. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So just shy of midfield. They tried it. Didn't work out. What did you think?
I thought that they should have punted the ball away. Should have gotten rid of it and played defense with better field position. Look, I'm as aggressive as anyone wanting to go for it on offense, but in this situation, it doesn't.
First half.
I don't know that there's any risk. I mean, what's the reward for your risk here? I would not have done that. My only explanation is this coach, he may want to be up here in the booth with us. We may have a 3-man booth starting next week if he keeps up with those decisions.
The Seahawks were the most penalized team in the NFL last year, more than 9 a game, and now they've got 1st and 15. From the shotgun, Wilson. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. Good to see this man running again. Here's Chris Carson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's got Lockett. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the tight end Dixon left side. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. To the right side, and he's got more complete. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Wilson. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
It's not a great revelation to say that it's going to take a lot to replace what Jimmy Graham gave this club from the tight end position, especially in the red zone. But that had to be an encouraging sight for Russell Wilson right there as he finds one of his replacements for the touchdown.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And now running right through it. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one. But they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down. Here's Rosen to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Pass interference. Defense.
Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really be demoralizing.
To throw is Rosen. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Back-to-back gains of 17, and they are really on the march now. It's a first down.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
A first down carry here for Johnson. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
As David Johnson works his way back from the wrist injury, what are the hesitations, the cautions for him?
Well, number one, you want to make sure he's got full strength in the wrist because he's going to carry the football an awful lot, so ball security is important. And you definitely want to make sure there's flexibility there because he's been such a great pass catcher in the past. You want to make sure he gets back to being able to do that as well.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
The Cardinals into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 at the 19. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Off the play fake. Here's Rosen. This is caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Jermaine Gresham, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals have cut it to within a score. Dawson tacks on the point after, and that'll make our score 14-7. That time, a 9-play drive. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble now, great field position. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from the desert after this. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie, the coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. He'll get it up the middle. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And Johnson on an island by himself in the backfield, 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Johnson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now from back at the 5. This is 3rd and goal.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll try to run it in. Johnson. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. David Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. Now Wilson, operating from the gun, going up top, and that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now third down. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. And that is incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, Patrick Peterson. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Cards are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Detroit!
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. So we've hit halftime all even at 14 apiece. As we send you on. Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the 3rd quarter now. On the return, here's Edmonds. And penalty markers down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive.
Holding, receiving team.
That holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific, it's not a great starting field position as well.
Let's go! Blue lady! Blue lady! Back line it up, Philly. Here we go! Gone! Gone! Gone!
Now a handoff, Johnson. And this time they were ready for him as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and the lead is now 21-14. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 24.
All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Back to the air, Rosen after the pick 6. He'll rifle this one deep. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
This is Carson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Tackle made by Marcus Golden.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. On third down, Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. First down, Seahawks, Wilson to Baldwin. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him. Find him.
Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Hurry up, here we go.
After the interception, here's Rosen. He gets it into the hands of Larry Fitzgerald. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. And, Johnson dinged up a bit. Still down. Hopefully nothing serious. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Here's the rookie from Fordham. It's Chase Edmonds. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 11 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
3rd and long, it's Wilson. Oh, incomplete, nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the 4th quarter, and they got a big one.
Yeah, it's such a close game, a very big one. And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes officials just say let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. He coughed it up. And this is recovered by the Cardinals.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
Now Rosen. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
On second down, here's Rosen. That's caught on the left side by... Kirk. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They face a critical 3rd and goal now in a one-score game.
Let's go! 3-19! 3-19! Detroit! Detroit!
And now it's Rosen looking. And able to find Kirk complete. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Christian Kirk with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Cardinals have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. And Dixon over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Back to throw. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A good pickup there, a 22. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. And this is caught on the left side, Jerron Brown. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. He'll look to throw. It's caught, Lockett. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down. He's back to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he lost the football. And this is recovered by the Cardinals.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball, so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. On the carry, it's Edmonds, and he stopped immediately there. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Hurry up, here we go.
Again, they run with Edmonds. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. As the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. Here's Andy Lee now. And you wonder, could they possibly think about taking a safety here? Returnable for Lockett. And he'll go out near midfield at at the 49. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. They'll look to throw. It's complete to Lockett. Oh, he sheds himself free. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Throwing now is Wilson. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. And now down to 14 as he spikes it to stop the clock. And this one incomplete. And all that remains is 13 seconds. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Wilson. And the tight end Dixon left side. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to potentially send us to overtime. And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Now it's Rosen. Got a man open. It's Ricky Seals-Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Except for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
Yeah, it's been loud in here so far. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that run.
There's certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Coming up on a 3rd and 9. Opening drive of overtime as they look to convert. From the gun, it's Wilson. And this is caught. He hits more. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, of how to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, turning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal on third down. These guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
Back-to-back completions, and that puts them in enemy territory.
And we're always looking for that elusive term momentum, aren't we? And I think they're building it with the back-to-back completions. Now they feel like they can either take a shot or continue to build it the way that they're doing now. Safe throws, get into their playmakers, and see what happens. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
From the gun on third down, Wilson completes it to Dixon. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back.